Okay, so what is going on everybody, Thamster here, and in this video I'll be testing if RAM speed affects gaming performance or just in general the performance of your PC. I'll be testing popular games and other tests. So what RAM does, it basically stores data temporarily for your processor to use, which is way faster than getting the data from your SSD, for example. And the RAM speed is measured in mega transfers per second, so that means that data from my RAM to my CPU or my processor moves at the rate of 6,000 mega transfers per second, which basically means that data can move 6 billion times per second. So with this video, I want to test 4,800 mega transfers per second RAM speed and 6,000 mega transfers per second speed on a DDR5 RAM sticks. And these both tests I will be doing on the same RAM sticks, and the only difference is that between these two tests, the RAM speed will be different that I'll be configuring in my BIOS. And all these benchmarks will be done with my Ryzen 7 9700X processor and with 32 gigabytes of RAM. Also, each of these games in this video will be at 1080p resolution so that it can maximize the CPU and RAM usage and not the graphics card. The full system specs you can find in the description. So the first game that I'm going to be testing is Fortnite. So I found this creative map and it basically benchmarks your game. So I'm doing this to get as consistent the results as possible, whereas if I'm playing a regular match then my results might not be consistent. So what we see with Fortnite is that lower RAM speeds, the 1% lows drop up slightly. It's about a 5% difference, but the average frame rate stays about the same. So now for CS2, I'm using this benchmarking map that I found on the Steam community workshop so that I could get the consistent results with different settings and different RAM configurations. So this map just plays this for about 2 minutes and it just goes around the dust too. We see about the same story here as on Fortnite, whereas lower speed equals in lower 1% lows and the average frame rate doesn't change at all. Now for Red Dead Redemption, I'm using the in-game benchmarking tool that you can find in the settings to get consistent results as always. And we can see pretty much the same story here. It doesn't really affect your average performance or your 1% lows by a tiny bit, but in here it doesn't really affect it. It's probably because the game is more GPU demanding than CPU demanding, so we really don't see any change here. So the next thing that I tested was Cinebench R23, and right here I see a really weird kind of outcome because as you can see I got a lower score using higher speed RAM. I'm really not sure why this happened, but please, if you guys know, let me know down in the comments. So the last thing that I tested was Geekbench 6, and I ran the CPU benchmark here because it also does some memory demanding tasks like compression and other things, so hopefully we could get a better result than Cinebench. And as we can see, we got a different result than on Cinebench because this is more memory intensive, and as you can see we got a slightly lower score on 4800 mega transfers than on 6000 mega transfers. So in this test memory definitely does matter, and memory speed. Okay, so the last game that I tested was Minecraft, and I created the same world twice using the same seed. So basically I type 1 as a seed and then I will go on to this exact block right here, so by this gravel patch. And then I will go into my inventory and pick up an elytra and a few fireworks. And then what I do is I jump up and then fly over the sky like this. So I just spam my fireworks and just fly like that for about 3 minutes until I hit a certain point that I remember. So here are the results. So in this game there is a pretty big difference actually. So because this game is really memory intensive right now, because as I'm flying really fast, the chunks are loading really fast and the RAM is really important here. So as you can see, we see about a 5 to like 10% difference here. So this is definitely a big difference, and the 1% lows are really low right here because I'm on vanilla and not like on Optifine or something, so the loading isn't really that optimized on. So as you can see from these test results, the difference between 4800 mega transfers per second and 6000 is only about 5% difference in performance. So, oh, and by the way, I did all these tests at least 2 times and then I averaged the results so that we could get a clear, concise answer. So was it as you expected, or did you think that the RAM speed was more important? Please leave a comment. And I'm really close to hitting 1000 subscribers, so it would be really helpful to me if you would consider subscribing to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Thanks for watching.